But first I want to stress two important principles whenever we as Christian people talk about matters of life and death, about the ethical dilemmas of our humanity, or bioethics, as some philosophers call it. First, virtually every issue to do with bioethics starts with human pain. It's not usually mad scientists who just want to play God for the heck of it. No, it is people facing tragedy who bleed and suffer and struggle and who desperately want to find a solution to their problem, their agony, whatever it costs. So we mustn't talk about these issues like abortion, like euthanasia, with harshness in our hatred or judgment in our voices. I sometimes hear Christian people talking about these issues with a sort of harsh rhetoric. You know, sometimes talking about the slaughter of the innocents or the baby murderers. But I believe this kind of harsh language doesn't help. It just twists the knife in the sides, the hearts of so many people who are touched by these issues. So instead, we should talk about them with tears in our eyes. We're called to empathize, to enter into the experience of suffering people, to experience their pain from the inside. For empathy, costly empathy, is the way of Christ. And secondly, we have to realize that these are not just issues out there in the secular world, in a sinful society. No, these are issues in here, in this tent. I don't know anything about you, but I know there are people in here who have had an abortion, who have pressurized someone else to have an abortion, even though perhaps nobody else knows. In fact, there are probably hundreds of people in this tent who've been affected by abortion in some way. I'm not here to judge anyone, to make anybody feel uncomfortable. In fact, I'm here to try and help you to find a way of healing, but I'm just telling the truth. The statistics say that in our country, between 1 in 3 and 1 in 4 of all women of childbearing age have had an abortion. When you go out into Keswick and walk down the high street, just think about that as you pass, people pass you. There are couples in this tent who've longed to have children, who've struggled with lifelong infertility, although few people know of the depth of their pain or longing. There are people in this tent who've watched loved ones struggle with terminal pain, with severe disability, with dementia, and they've secretly wondered whether actually euthanasia, mercy killing, would have been a better way, a kinder solution. There are people here who know that they have a genetic disorder which has passed down their family like a secret curse, and they're wondering whether their children will be infected. There are hundreds of people here who are carrying a variant in their genetic code, which means that in the next 10 years, you're going to develop Alzheimer's disease or breast cancer, even though you don't know it. In fact, every single one of us is carrying in our DNA lethal genetic misprints, which, if they were activated, would lead to horrible and destructive diseases. So Christian sisters and brothers, these are not just issues out there in society. These are issues in here. We are all human beings. We are all touched by the fragility, the vulnerability of our humanity.